Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gridiron 2021. Dr. Ron Poniewasz, joined as always by the Professor Larry Kelly, Professor of Football Knowledge, and he is joining us again for another season. As you can see, his second place award, mine is at home somewhere, waiting to be put in the plaque, but Larry's award and his We Are NC sign is behind us, and we welcome Larry back for yet another week of segments here on Gridiron. Thank you for joining us.
I have a request.
Okay.
I want the show to start with the Newcastle High School Victory March.
Oh, boy.
With the fight song.
Okay.
That's how I want the show to start. Can we have it done that way?
That's your walk-up music for your North County games, right? North County League baseball, right?
My walk-up music for everything.
And is it true that you step out of the batter's box and pull a Mike Hargrove to adjust your gloves and say hello to people just so the song can really
once I'm in the box, I'm strictly business. I'm just looking to wreck the next pitch. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Let's just say this. For the sake of all my players at Shenango High School, I would only hope I know a lot more about baseball than I do football. The football coaches that listen to this, they must like turn green when they hear some of the things I say. But that's what makes the shows fun. We're fans, not coaches. We have opinions. Nobody really cares whether they work or not, right? But that's what it's all about.
Sure. But first off, in this segment, it is Athlete of the Week, and it is going to be Tyler Staub of Union High School, senior, 5'11", 175-pound quarterback, defensive back. Last week against Elwood City, Tyler Staub had 7 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. It was on a 4-yard run. And through the air, he was 4 of 10 for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. His touchdown passes covered 38 yards to Braylon Thomas and 37 yards to Mike Gunn. Quite a performance for Tyler Staub last week against Elwood City, Larry.
Well deserving of Player of the Week, that's for sure. Athlete of the Week. I talked to Coach Mangino today. You know, he's a lawyer in our office at Luxembourg, Kelly and George, and apparently they watched the film on Union. And Mr. Staub is a little bit like Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray from Arizona, that he creates a lot of plays with his feet, not only running but throwing. He keeps plays alive and throws the ball downfield very well while moving around back there, and creates big plays for his team, which was evidenced by the fact that 2 touchdown passes, one of 38 yards to Braylon Thomas, another of 37 yards to Mike Gunn. So those kind of quarterbacks are tough to defend. You know, I don't profess to say a lot about football, but from my limited playing days, I remember that it was important to keep containment on the quarterback. You don't want to let the quarterback get outside of the containment, because then that tends to break down the defensive backfield and it results in big gains for the offense. And apparently Mr. Staub is able to do that. Keep plays alive, get outside the containment, and not only run with the football, but throw darts down the field to wide receivers who are very capable of catching it. The Shannick's a little concerned about that. So, well-deserved Athlete of the Week.
Yeah, you touched on 2 areas, Larry, that I wanted to mention. The first one, you mentioned Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. Last year, I covered one of the Union games, covered a lot of their games, but after this one particular game, Tyler Staub was running around a lot, doing a lot of playmaking with his legs. And I asked Stacy after the game, I said, does your heart stop or skip a couple of beats when he's running around like that? Because they don't have a whole lot of numbers and this and that. And I remember him saying, Ron, he's back there running around like Fran Tarkenton, and it really got me laughing. And he does. He reminds you of somebody, like you said, a Kyler Murray or a Baker Mayfield. He extends plays. And the reason I have 2 things I wanted to point out, that's one of them. The 37-yard touchdown to Mike Gunn, when I asked Stacy about his touchdowns, he said, Ron, I want to tell you, Stacy said, I want to tell you about the 37-yarder. He says he was on the run and threw the ball 37 yards, threw a dart to Mike Gunn. He says, I stood there on the sideline and says, wow, what a catch, what a pass, what a throw and catch. So, it was a great play, that Stacy pointed out, and that shows you the type of ability that Tyler has.
those types of quarterbacks are dangerous. A young Ben Roethlisberger, you know, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan like everybody else. I used to say every play that we run is a broken play that results in a big gain because, you know, he would get outside of the containment, keep the play alive. You know, you have receivers running around out there, the defensive backs, their coverage and their discipline in their coverage breaks down and guys are wide open. That's what Tyler Staub brings to the table. And obviously he can throw it while on the run. He only completed 4 passes for 151 yards. That's 35 yards of completion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when he's back there running around, he's keeping his eyes down the field. Tyler Staub is dangerous. Mm-hmm. He's dangerous. You really got to be disciplined on the defensive side of the football or he's going to hurt you. And I know Nishanik is concerned because that's the little information that Mr. Mangino left me with as I was leaving the office today.
Yeah, and here's a did you know. I knew this, and you know, it's a good refresher for me. I'm not sure if everybody around the county knows this, but after Tyler Staub's sophomore year, you know, his freshman and sophomore year was spent as a wide receiver at Union. Tyler Benedict was the quarterback for Union. And when Tyler Benedict graduated after Tyler Staub's sophomore year, Tyler Staub went to Stacy Robinson and said, "Coach, you know, I'll move to quarterback if you like. You know, I'll play quarterback." And you know, Stacy said, "Okay," you know, pretty much said it's yours, and you know, worked him out, and she showed a lot of flash. And when I talked to Tyler Staub about it, he says, "Well, I played quarterback in junior high." And he still gets a chance to play wide receiver at times because Braylon Thomas is the number 2 guy at quarterback behind Tyler Staub, and Thomas hauled in one of the touchdown passes from Tyler Staub, and Braylon Thomas has attempted 1 pass this year. And Stacy even told me, you know, we have a 3rd guy that can play quarterback, a guy that's even younger than Braylon Thomas, you know, on the depth chart. Union doesn't have numbers, but they have athleticism, and for this year, they got 3 quarterbacks, and that tells me something about Union. You know, they're not going to be hurting in terms of playmaking after this season.
No, listen, Stacy's been there a long time. You know, he adapts his offensive philosophy to the talent that he has on the field. And he has a young man who can make plays with his legs and his arm, and Stacy gives him the freedom to do it. And as I told you, those guys are dangerous because if you don't maintain your defensive discipline, he's going to hurt you. Look, it's a really different look that you have to defend when you have a quarterback like Tyler Staub. He had a great week last week. Yeah. 80 rushing yards, 151 through the air, averaging 35 yards of completion. If he does the same thing Friday, the Shanik's going to have their hands full.
And they're averaging 40 points a game in 2 games. They played Mohawk. Mohawk's 1-1. They played Elwood, and we'll get to Elwood later. Elwood's game this week has been canceled. Elwood's 0-1. So a lot of people might say, well, who are they playing? 40 points a game is 40 points a game. Those kids have a lot of confidence, and this is a big game for Union. Yes, it's non-conference.
Oh, this is a big game for Union. This is a big game for Union.
Yeah.
Trust me, a lot of pressure on Nishanik there. You know, Nishanik is the classification higher. They've been the big dog, so to speak, in the Tri-County network for a few years now. So it's a big game for Nishanik.
Yeah. All right, that is Athlete of the Week, Tyler Staub. And, you know, just real quick, Larry, you know, you're a Steeler fan like everybody else. Not everybody else.
Not you. No, not you. They should throw tomatoes at your car.
Don't give anybody any ideas, Larry. Don't give anybody any ideas.
But seeing your car, if it were hit with tomatoes, it might look a little better.
Now, come on. There's nothing wrong with my vehicle, Larry.
There's one thing I learned growing up around here. People should look out for each other. Be friends and neighbors that you can count on. So it bothers me when people who are hurt in automobile accidents get bullied by the insurance company. I don't let bullies run over my clients. I do what I was taught growing up. Step up, stand up, and speak up for those who can't. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.